Angry people.
Whatever.
Doesn't do it right, man. You don't ever offer anything. He's a bitter, unelected politician.
That is definitely, yeah. That is
Giving them
like,
eight. That needs to stop.
I'm watching up questions today.
She came out of an abusive relationship and they're so
I looked at
That's right,
John.
they won.
John was giving this.
Still,
John had talked with her.
I actually saw their game.
Did you really?
You know he didn't miss.
Oh, y'all left. I had a couple of Jesus.
Well,
Not bad. We were great with that.
I'm about half done. Did you read this letter?
Where was that letter written?
I don't know. It was in my box today.
The public trust. Okay.
Public Records War. It's from Mr. Roberts.
This who?
Mr. Roberts.
About what?
About our history. You can look at it in a second. You got one in your box.
Okay, about our history, like we're partnered with them.
Listen to you, Randy.
I was hoping that Charlie was but it didn't. It's just like it to go stir. There you go. Oh, it did move it.
Call the Caddo Parish Commission regular meeting to order at this time. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams, Lynn,
Present.
Bowman,
Present.
Baker, Lynn,
Here.
Escaday,
Here.
Thibodeau,
Here.
Cox,
Go.
Smith.
Here.
We have four, Mr. President.
You got the invitation.
Again?
Yeah.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you today for a brand new day, we haven't seen. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for the men and women that protect us day in and day out. Thank you for the veterans that covered us in years past. And we ask that you bless all the citizens of Caddo Parish. These things we ask in your son, Jesus' name.
Amen.
Everyone, please face the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance along with me. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't worry, they'll take that out.
Okay. Next item is citizens' comments. Any citizens who wish to address the commission on any issue other than zoning, please fill out a comment card located in the chamber foyer and return it to myself or the clerk of the commission. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. I do have some comment cards with regards to Maggie Lane. That is going to be in a public hearing for an ordinance. So if you have filled out a comment card regarding the issue of Maggie Lane, we will let you speak at the time of the public hearing. That's the appropriate place. I have no other cards. I believe the other two are going to wait. So do we have any public comment cards?
No, sir.
Okay, next item.
We have no visitors. We move to special resolutions. Special resolution of recognition to Calvary Baptist Cavaliers 2013 Division II State Champions.
Okay, they're here. If I'll ask them to stand up, and Commissioner Cox and I have a resolution to be presented to them.
In the name and by the authority of the Caddo Parish Commission, resolution of recognition and appreciation, State Division III Champion Calvary Baptist Cavaliers. Whereas the Caddo Parish Commission continues to observe with a growing sense of awe and admiration the annual demonstrations of gridiron prowess exhibited by the football teams fielded by the Calvary Baptist Cavaliers, as their achievements reflect great honor and pride upon Caddo Parish. And whereas the Calvary Baptist Cavaliers have now earned the school's first state Division III football championship by defeating the Hannon Archbishop Hawks of Covington in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans on December 12. And whereas the Hannon Hawks came into the game with trickery on their mind, the Cavaliers, well coached and prepared, anticipated the opening onside kick and set themselves up in Hawk territory, never looking back to a 62-7 trouncing. And whereas with the win, the Cavaliers enlarged a tradition of football excellence that has made their name known statewide. Although the Cavaliers captured their first Division III title, it did not come without doubt and frustration after starting the season losing 3 of their first 4 games. Sticking to their mantra, believe, the Cavaliers did just that and stayed the course to complete a season to remember. And whereas though the team's story continues to be one of some outstanding individual talents, it also continues to be one of teamwork deriving from a unique bond of brothers, esprit de corps, that of a group of men and boys, coaches and players bound together toward a common objective, and all answering to a higher calling and purpose. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission this 20th day of March 2014 that it does hereby express its heartiest congratulations to Coach John Bachman Sr. and the coaches and players of the 2013 Division III State Champion Cavalry Baptist Cavaliers for their demonstrations of football excellence and for their splendid example they exhibit as representatives of their school, their city, and their parish. Signed, Doug Dominic, President, Lyndon Johnson, Vice President, David Cox, District 10.
Guys, it's wonderful to have, this is senior leadership here. Number 77 is Jerry, is that right? He's the quarterback, with third string though, but he normally plays on the line.
Well, you arm wrestle.
Well, he's gonna be my new bodyguard if I need one. So. Hey, we appreciate everything that you guys have done. I know it's a hard work. I played in high school. Some of y'all hopefully will move on and play in college, but if not, it's a special time in the last game that you'll ever play to win a state championship. That is so unbelievable, and we are so proud of each and every one of y'all, and continue to represent the city and the parish in whatever endeavor you do. So we wish you the best of luck, and thank you for being a part of the city and the parish. Thank you, guys. Sponsor this, and we just appreciate y'all.
Having Calvary as my home church is one thing, but having these guys stand behind me now, is it true that it was just you guys playing? The seniors playing? y'all just us. Okay.
Hey, like a fridge.
There you go. Favorite place. Really, y'all had a great season. I was kind of worried at first, but y'all pulled it off. Young men like this, we need more of them in every school. It doesn't matter whether it's Calvary or Woodlawn, Captain Street. Well, maybe not Captain Street, but kids today need to have a goal, and these young men had a goal. And from us to y'all, we appreciate what y'all did, and tell the guys underclass, we expect no less next year. So, one of y'all want to say something?
I've been elected to talk for the team. I don't know why, but I am. We just want to thank the city for giving us support, keeping us.
That begin, Michael.
Parish. We thank the parish. It's not every year that some teams from our parish goes down to New Orleans and play for the state title. And this year, I think about 4 or 5. Went down 4 or 5, and I just thought it was a special year for Caddo Parish. So hopefully we can continue this in the future. I know Calvary has the plans to continue to go down to New Orleans. This was a great time, excellent experience, and we hope to bring y'all more state championships. Thank y'all.
All right, that's good.
I move that the resolution be accepted.
Second.
And adopted by acclamation. When you got the resolution.
Don't lose it.
Let me see them big rings.
Is there a picture?
The Kodak moment. When we played football, it wasn't as big.
David, you need a Coke case to stand on?
Oh, that hurts.
1, 2, 3.
There's some commissioners on the board. President Dominic. Commissioner Baker.
I just wanted to know what those rings were. I'm looking at those rings on their hands. Those are championship rings?
Y'all put your hands together so the camera can zoom in on it.
Those are championship rings?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
That's nice.
That's nice.
Just hold them right. There you go. Yeah.
Super Bowl ring.
There we go. Look at there. All right.
Congratulations to all of you. Thank you so very much for representing Caddo Parish. We really appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Okay.
Hold up, y'all.
Commissioner Lynn, I want you to know it was an honor and a privilege to be in the Super Bowl stadium, in the Mercedes Stadium, the night that y'all won. And I think you had your freshmen out there the last quarter, and the freshmen scored 3 touchdowns. Y'all were impressive. It was insane, the stampede that happened, and I was just really impressed and proud to be from Caddo Parish. And I was proud for y'all that I got to cheer for my home team, and so y'all did a great job. Thank you for winning that night.
A couple more.
Commissioner Williams?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me just say, on behalf of all the citizens of Caddo and Shreveport and the young men and women who played athletes, I just want to say personally that I'm really, really, really proud that you kept your eyes on the prize. And I know you dealt with some pressures, some social pressures in your life that maybe got you off track. And I know being a young man, sometimes we get off track. But you kept your eyes on the prize, you kept your eyes on the mark, and you guys done an excellent job representing not only your school, representing our city and our parish, but our state. And I look forward to whatever your endeavors are in the future, unless somebody's going to college, and in college calling you up to play at some of these schools. LSU, anybody call them? LSU call anybody? But hopefully, whatever you do it with excellence. And whatever your academic performance is in life, make sure you put God in your life. Keep God first. No matter what you do, keep God in your life, whatever you do in your life. That's the only thing that really works. So only what you're going to do for Christ is going to last. And treat your fellow man right. Those are the things I want to instill in you, your values and your morals. And teach these other young boys, don't stop sagging their pants. That's what some of you guys can do as a role model. Show them what it's about, what ethics and morals is all about. In the meantime, keep it a good word. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you down in the future. Maybe in the NFL. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. I just also want to echo, and just like he said, even in the Bible, it says, the race is not given to the swift, but those who endure to the end. And you had a rough start, but it was a true testament of just in life, how it doesn't matter how you start off, but how you finish. And you finish strong, and on behalf of everybody else here, I know we're proud of you, so keep it up.
My son was the evangelist, so we'll take it personal.
Commissioner Epperson?
Just want to congratulate you gentlemen and Calvary Baptist Academy. Just like to state that Calvary was, the church started out on St. Vincent Avenue.
Come on now.
And come a long ways. And my daughter started her kindergarten at Calvary once they got into the school. So she wasn't in the athletics department, but she continues to do well academically. And this May, coming May 2014, she'll be receiving her master's from Xavier, and she's working on a fellowship for a PhD work at Penn State. Wow. So Calvary has a long legacy of being involved in the community. I remember Pastor Martin, Step Martin. I know you all know him. We worked together on a lot of things out in Cedar Grove while that facility was still located there, so you can see where you came from and where you are now. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, guys, and just go forth and be sure and tell your fellow players thank you and good luck, okay?
All right, thank you.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we move to committee reports.
Okay, does anybody have a communicate or committee report?
I just want to thank the chair.
Commissioner Williams?
Ask the administration, hopefully by Monday, I would like to meet with the judges, the juvenile judges concerning this position of the a social worker. I'd like to meet with them Monday at some time. If you can arrange that, I really would appreciate it.
You talking about
anytime Monday?
You talking about with the committee or just you and the?
Just me.
Okay, I got you.
So
All right, just want to make sure that. Okay.
And secondly, also announced that I met with the Swag Nation committee. They're going to be Miss Baker and and the late George, Miss Bowman, also wanted the young ladies to have some etiquette training as well. So now they're going to be seeing ladies in their first class, I think, Tuesday. Now we're going to have boys and girls in the Swag Nation Academy to try to instill some values in our young women. And our young women definitely need the type of system to be ladies. They need more than values and etiquette as well. So I'm excited about that as well, working with Clay and a great job they're doing at Juvenile Justice. Commend them on the work that they're doing. Thank you.
Commissioner Epperson?
Mr. Glass, could you come forward, please, sir?
Sir.
Mr. Glass, I have heard it personally myself as well as received a number of calls from constituents. There appears to be like explosion noises that some of the citizens are thinking that's coming from the wells. I know we have relief valves in certain areas, am I correct?
Yeah, they do.
We got compressors, and I know probably most of the drilling, I assume, is over. But, you know, so I was just wondering if you might contact, would that be Loga?
That would be the well is it up?
Yeah.
Where's the location of the well?
Several, off of Jefferson Page Road, up around the Rose Center. Been hearing them behind, I guess, the Bickham property that's northwest of Timberline and Western Hills Estates.
I know you're talking about. That's
so those areas, and also I think I got calls from bordered between Greenwood Road toward Pine Road. I think it's one or two up in there behind what is it, Trackhoe? And, special calls. So I was just wondering if they have some kind of what do you call it? Seismographic measuring that in the event something happened, in the kind of time elapsed situation.
I don't know if they have any seismograph testing going on. I haven't heard any. Normally they come to us before they'll start something like that.
Okay.
But I can check with them. I mean, those are Chesapeake's, and there's no drilling going on up there right now.
Okay. But if you would, and maybe get with me and maybe whoever I might can get in contact with.
I'll check on that for you.
And I've told them to keep the dates and the times when they hear the noise. They begin to keep those.
Yeah, that would help.
Keep those dates and times and the direction that they're hearing it come from.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, Mr. Wilson, we have in the budget this year for the student job program, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I've been receiving calls for that. Okay. That's all I have, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Thibodeau?
Yeah, Special Projects met last week and to discuss those things that would be on the bond issue. There were a couple minor changes made, and I believe Finance was going to provide everyone with a copy of the final list of the things to be on the bond issue. There were no large or new additions or anything made, so that's where we are with it. And I don't know, do we need to vote on it again? Ms. Frazier, are we going to need to vote on those couple of changes?
No, sir.
They were just minor.
Okay. Commissioner Bowman?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I just wanted to say the Animal Services Committee met on Monday at 2 o'clock, and we discussed the wonderful new hours at the shelter on Saturday and upcoming meeting on the 31st at SHRAC for the Art Center for Target Zero Institute. Also, I also must let everyone know about District 5 meeting.
Hold it up high, bro.
District 5 Town Hall meeting that will be taking place on March 25th. This Tuesday at 6 p.m. at Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club. We'll discuss a lot of topics of what's going on, and we'll also have a voter registration drive so we can kind of get sort out some of the apathy that's going on within the community. Hopefully we can build those numbers up. And Martin LaMelle and Ashley saying hello to them for streaming. That's it. That's it, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Williams?
No, sir. Thank you.
Administrator.
Go ahead.
Dr. Wilson?
Go ahead. You can talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. President Dominic, the commissioners, good afternoon. I just want to let you all become aware that on March 31st, the ordinance on the agenda for introduction to refinance portion of the debt we incurred back in 2007 from the bond issue. Being that we've now received the AAA rating on the general obligation bond, Mr. Studer informed us that we can go out and refinance that again to save additional monies for going forward.
Taxpayers.
Yes, sir. So that will be on the agenda for introduction on March 31st.
Okay. And Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is to the legal department. I was working with Mr. Bernstein regarding a situation regarding the parish public contracts. Whenever a public bidder who bids on a contract wins a bid, is it anything would not allow us to amend the policy or the parish or this administration that they at least pay their workers at least $10 an hour, to range the minimum wage at least to $10 an hour. We don't need to wait on the president or the governor or the city. What can this parish do to raise the minimum wage in our contracts that that our bidders that win? What can we do to try to put some more money in these poor working people's pocket? We don't need to wait on others to do. We need to take the lead and provide that leadership that it needs to stimulate this economy, growth, where people can have more spending power in their pockets. So maybe research that for me. Find out what can we do, because I know the president has an executive order to do it. Do we have that type of power here to do it on a local level? That we can at least, the contracts are being awarded, at least pay the people at least $10, working people at least $10 an hour.
I believe he actually has a memo to you on that, Commissioner. I thought it was in your box, but if it's not in your box, I'll make sure that it's gotten to you no later than tomorrow.
Well, I'm getting mixed views. I mean, in some parts of the world, it's okay, but some down here is not okay. So I just need to get a real, true picture. What type of authority do we have on the local level, just in the contracts? Not just in the contracts that have been awarded. At least pay them hard-working people in the trenches, the shovel-ready job people. They need to get at least $10 an hour and increase the minimum wage here. We can start a momentum and a movement here in Caddo. We don't have to wait on nobody. People need help right now. Thank you.
Commissioner Epperson.
I forgot to mention to all that the Veterans Celebration Committee will have our first meeting of 2014, Friday, the 28th at 11 a.m. in the large conference room on the first floor, commission area. And the celebration and parade this year will be November the 9th, starting at 2:00 p.m. at the fairgrounds still. And the honor ceremony will be at the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, same as it was last year. We've treated a lot of ground. This is our third year, so things should be a lot better. We have a roadmap which we can follow. So anyone that would like to participate with us, come on and join in.
What date was that again?
What's the date?
Friday, March the 28th at 11
And
a.m.
what is this again, Ken?
Veterans Celebration Committee. You know, we put on parade and honor ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
And Miss Vita's not here, so we're gonna need some help.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Y'all got to have some part-time help around
Look
here.
it up. We'll see what we got come Friday. Thank you.
Commissioner Escaday?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions in regard to what Mr. Wilson had advised us on. What's the current interest rate on those bonds that we're thinking about reissuing?
I don't know that, Commissioner Escalade. I can find out.
What was this question?
The question on the bond rates. Is that correct?
The current
current
rate
bond.
for the 2000, the interest rate is currently up to 5%. It varies every year. It's as low as 3.5 and as high as 5%. And if we refund them, it'll be as lower than 2%.
These were what year were they first?
The 2007 bonds were the ones that they were considering, what we're discussing, the consideration.
Okay, I want to know what the fluctuation, before this comes up to us, in those rates are. What is the window? I want to know what is the likely scenario, because I want to see what the quantifiable savings is going to be to the taxpayers of the parish, because if I just want to make sure this didn't eat up in bond fees and there's no negative gain that doesn't serve anybody but the bonding attorneys, and sometimes that happens. So I want to make sure that citizens are realizing the savings on this, that's all.
That's correct.
Thank you.
If I may, somebody, one said refund and other saying refinance. Is it refund or refinance?
It's the same term.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Refund bond.
It's refinancing.
Did want to say one thing. I did attend the 175th anniversary of the city of Shreveport today. It was hosted by Mayor Glover. He did have some nice things and compliments for the parish and everything that we have done. So it was a well-attended event and a nice event. Mr. Clerk, next item.
Adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on February 20th.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, seconded by Commissioner Escaday.
Yeah, that's fine.
Please vote.
Throw one out.
Mr. Jefferson, I got you. And that passes 11-0. Next item.
Adopt the minutes of the special meeting held on February the 3rd.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, seconded by Commissioner Johnson. Please vote. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Adopt the minutes of the special meeting held on March 7th.
Moved by Commissioner Williams,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Escaday. Please vote.
Original.
Get out of here today. He will.
That passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we move to public hearing on local assessment ordinances. Local assessment ordinance number 51 of 2014, ordering the construction and improvement of a water line within the right-of-way of a portion of Maggie Lane.
Okay. I'll declare this public hearing open at this time. If anybody wishes to speak in favor of this ordinance, you can come forward. I know we had several that were listed. I don't know if they were in favor or against. If you're in favor, please come forward and give us your name and address.
Thank you. I'm Walter Hunter, 308 Maggie Lane. One of the property owners owned Maggie Lane. There are 10 properties at issue in this. Mr. Holloway, my neighbor across the street, began late last year, talking to various neighbors because in the past we've had water problems in that area. In fact, I think one person who's here today actually had water problems on our street 2 or 3 years ago. We didn't realize until September that we were still under the water ban that came about 2 or 3 years ago when we really had a big problem. Out of the 10 property owners, 9 of them have agreed. 2 of them are own city water at this point, but want to go forward with the financing through the proposal that's before you today. My neighbor next door to me, although he's moved away, still has a property for sale. He's in favor of it. That's Mr. Bickham Dixon. I think it would be good for the neighborhood. It would be good for property values. And of course, if the property ever comes into the city, that will already be in place. We've worked with Mr. Ward. They are going to put in an 8-inch line is proposed and 2 meters, 2 water hydrants at this point to go in. That's all I have at this point unless there's any opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Thank you for being here today. Next, is there anybody else who wishes to speak in favor of this ordinance?
My name's Dan Condon. I live at 332 Maggie Lane. In fact, I own 2 of the properties. And I put 2 wells on each property. I know that we're going to eventually go dry out there. So I'm definitely in favor of this. There were a couple questions I had, but I think they've been answered by an attorney already, mainly on the financing of it. And if somebody decides not to opt in, is that cost allocated on all 10 lots? Versus, just the people that do. That's all I have, but I am in favor, and I think it's a project we need to go forward with. Thank you.
All right, is there anybody else who wishes to speak in favor of this ordinance? Yes, sir. How are you doing today? I just said, how are you doing?
I'm doing terrific.
He played golf.
Can you give us your name and address?
William Hancock, 327 Maggie Lane. I am the one that he talked about. I've been there probably the longest, about 35 years. I've gone through 3 wells. I'm now on city water, and I strongly am for going on the new proposal. If y'all got any questions, I'll be glad to.
We really don't ask questions at this time. It's just a public hearing. Whenever we get ready to adopt the ordinance, if we have any questions, we'll ask.
Okay, the last well was completely full of iron and not drinkable. I took it to the lab to have it tested, and 2 years ago I went to the city and got the permit to tie on to the city water, which is quite expensive, but I am for this.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Is there anybody else who wishes to speak in favor of this ordinance? Okay, is there anybody who wishes to speak against this ordinance?
I'm Shirley Nanny in
Can you give us your name and, well, you gave us your name, can you give us?
316 Maggie Lane.
Okay. And your last name is what now?
E-N-A-N-I.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I am speaking in opposition, and we have been very successful as far as our wells are concerned. We've not had any problems. But some of the questions that I would like to pose in terms of the information that you sent out to us, resolution number 7. For one, I'm curious as to were only the people on Maggie Lane talked to about this? Because the rest of that street is Jennifer Lane. And I don't see anything that addresses that. Jennifer Lane and Maggie Lane are all one street essentially. And it's part of the Woodstock Estates, and I think that Jennifer Lane is included in that. I think I'm correct. If I'm not, you can correct me. So my question is, if they were included, I'd like to know that. If they were not, I'd also like to know that, and I'd like to know why they were not. The other thing is, who makes the determination as to whom is asked about whether or not they want to go on city water or not? Question being, again, is if the people on Jennifer Lane were not asked, who makes that determination? Is it the other residents? You know, who does it? The other question I have is, which percentage is correct in this document that was sent out? If you refer to it, if you have it there at your disposal. The first whereas says, and I'm not going to read all of this, it says, received a valid petition from owners over 75%. Then when you get down to, now therefore it be resolved, it refers to the petition received from the owners of over 84%. Now, those two figures are not agreeing. And the other question I have is, why can't they be exact to begin with? Why over 74 or over 85, whatever the case may be? Why can you not have an exact percentage? I don't understand that, because I think it should be exact. And neither do I understand why there's two different figures there for the percentage. So I would certainly like that question answered. And I would also like to know, because that's not been actually, well, I think it was disclosed sort of at one time, what percentage do you have to have? What's necessary to construct a water line? So what percentage does the city have to construct a water line? So primarily my opposition is, and like I say, we've done very well with the well water, but I'm also not clear on this document. There's some things that are not exact. Can anybody answer those for me now?
This is public hearing. It's the time to speak in favor of the ordinance or speak against it. You have obviously spoken against it. Whenever we get ready to adopt the ordinance, I will try to let one of the either commissioners or a public works director try to go over the procedures in just a minute. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
One question.
Yes, sir. Can you give us your name? Give us your name and address, sir.
My name is Khalil Inani. This is my wife.
Okay.
address 316 Maggie Lane. Like I said, our well that we have, I have 2 wells. It gives me very easily 15 gallons a minute, and it has never stopped. Water is clean, sweet, and everything else. The other thing is, if, for whatever reason, the decision is yes, the city will enter this proposition.
Parish.
The parish, pardon me. I wanted to choose using my water well. How is there a conflict there? Please.
We'll try to answer that in a few minutes, okay?
Yes, I appreciate it.
Okay, is there anybody else that wishes to speak against this ordinance? I see no one else speaking in favor or against this ordinance. I'll declare the public hearing closed at this time, and we'll move to the next item, Mr. Clerk.
Public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5387, 2014, amend the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for Economic Development Fund for the year 2014 to provide an appropriation of $25,000 for the Louisiana Film Prize Festival.
Okay, we'll open this up for public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak in favor of this ordinance? Does anybody wish to speak against this ordinance? There be no one speaking in favor or against, I declare this public hearing closed and move to the next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we move to zoning ordinances for final passage. This was a zoning ordinance delayed from February 20th. Zoning case appeal, BAP 214, property located at 1286 Pine Island Road. Anthony and Diane Henry applicants, Billy and Gloria Clayton, Kimberly Dazette, and Mark Davis appellants. The applicant requests a special exception use in R1D district to replace existing mobile home with new double wide.
Move to accept the request of the applicant.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Motion's made by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. We do have some discussion on this. Commissioner Williams?
No, I wanted to talk about their situation.
Okay, we'll talk at that. We'll discuss that when we get ready to bring that one up. Does Commissioner Johnson, do you wish to speak on this matter?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Just to try to clarify some things, make all the commissioners aware of some things. Initially, earlier in this year, we passed an ordinance to have any type of mobile home or modular home put into an existing neighborhood to come before us instead of being put in by exception. So this is one of the reasons why this one is basically coming to us. The applicants are taking basically a single wide and then bringing in a modular home. They had a custom modular home built.
Upgrading
the area, the property value for their own sake. This is a permanent put in for them. Initially, they moved from up north and moved here, and in the meantime of getting the custom modular home built, they got a single wide to stay in, and some of the things were temporary because they knew that they was going to actually take that out and put in this custom modular home. So that's one of the reasons why they're coming to us today, because this is not by exception anymore. So we have to vote on it one way or the other. I would ask that you support it, because this is not exactly what we had looked at initially, because the initial deal was to make sure that you wouldn't put a trailer home next to a $300,000-$400,000 house. Somebody will be able to do that easily. This is actually upgrading from what they had initially to a modular home, so I ask that you support it.
Commissioner Cox?
The homes around it, they're mobile homes, or
It's both.
It was both?
It's both around it.
Yeah, I remember the case, but it's been a while, so they have both slab and mobile homes around in the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right here. Mr. President, point of information, this is a vote to deny the appeal, is that correct?
No.
Because this is an appeal.
This is to accept, I made the motion to accept the request of the applicants.
To basically allow the upgrade.
right.
How do we need to make that a
This is a zoning appeal, so we need to either deny or allow the appeal.
We need to vote no on the appeal?
No to, if you want to deny the appeal, since it's an appeal, you need to vote to deny or allow the appeal.
Okay, so hang on.
Okay, so,
Hang on one second. Let Commissioner Johnson,
so let me ask you this, the people who are against it are the
They're the ones appealing.
appellants?
Correct.
All right.
They're the appellants.
Right, so basically what I did was make a motion to accept the request of the applicants, which are the Henrys.
I believe we already approved theirs, and then the appeal came after.
Okay, so.
So we need to either deny or allow the appeal.
Okay. So we make a motion to deny the appellants. Okay.
So
So a
the
yes
motion-
vote,
the
yes
motion-
vote will give you what?
huh?
A yes vote will give you what? A no vote will give you what?
A yes vote will give you the appeal, allow the approval of the appeal. A no vote would disallow the appeal. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Sure.
What was the decision at the lower level?
The zoning MPC voted to allow.
To allow the double wide?
That's correct.
So,
Then it,
a vote to approve the appeal would maintain that decision. A vote to deny the appeal would overturn that.
probably came to us. And
Where's,
then
where's
it came to us
MPC?
and we voted on it, but at the same time, we had an appeal. Because the appeal people came within the 10 days, but it was before the actual, so they heard both.
Got the new director? Oh.
That's the way we always do it.
I don't know why they wrote it up that way.
Can you make some clarification on this, please, sir?
I guess in answer to Ms. Frazier's question, the zoning board of appeals voted unanimously to approve the double wide to be placed at this location.
And then you had someone else that appealed it.
Then the citizens of the Pines Island neighborhood appealed that decision as they were in opposition at the zoning board of appeals hearing.
So if we want to allow the upgrade, then the motion needs to be to deny the appeal.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Because the persons from Pines Island Road are the persons appealing the decision.
So again, if we want to allow the upgrade, the motion needs to be to deny the appeal.
Deny the appeal.
So we
Okay.
vote yes or no?
Vote no.
Yes
will be
Yes, yes.
Yes to
If his
deny
motion
the
is to
appeal.
deny the appeal, it's yes.
If you want to deny the appeal,
right, you better
hang on. If you want to deny the appeal to allow the upgrade from the single wide to the double wide, which is exactly what Commissioner Johnson wishes to do, correct?
Correct.
Then you need to vote yes.
Okay.
Okay? So the motion is to deny the appeal. Okay, can we please vote at this time?
Thank you, Mr.
Again,
Clark.
if you wish to allow the upgrade, the vote will be yes.
Well, I hate it was so much easier.
Commissioner Baker, please vote.
Mr. Wilson, take
Okay, that passes.
Get a hold of you, man.
And moving to the next item.
Next, local assessment ordinance for final passage. Local assessment ordinance number 51 of 2014, ordinance construction improvement of water line within right of way of portion of Maggie Lane located in a portion of lots 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Woodstock Estates said subdivision being located in Caddo Parish.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Thibodeau, and seconded by Commissioner Lynn. I know there were some questions. Robert, can you come up, or one of y'all please come up?
Yeah.
And one of the couples has some questions. Can you please give us the procedure and how that works again? And I have these questions written down. There were at least 4 or 5 of them, so.
So, would you like me to answer the questions, or to kind of start through the process?
You go through the process and then try to answer the questions if you remember them all.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think I can hit most of the questions in the process.
That's what I thought.
Pretty much when a new water line is presented to us, it's actually started by the community themselves. Two residents got together, they walked the streets, they were able to obtain, our policy is 61% or more, so they were able to walk the street of Maggie and obtain 76% of what it is linear footage. It isn't actually how many properties. It's actually the linear footage of properties I'm counting on both sides, whatever is abutting our right-of-way where the water line will be installed. They chose to stop just on Maggie Lane, and when they brought it to me prior to having the petitions, I told them, I said, that's fine, but you need to go to the city. The city's probably going to make you go all the way through Jennifer, all the way to Ellerby to have a loop. So whatever they say is really what kind of rules we're going to live by. So Ali Mustafa, the city, looked at it. He said, no, just a little bit on Maggie Lane's enough. They'd be happy with it as long as they provide the exact what is needed for the water lines to flow with the fire hydrants and the possible automatic flush valve at the end. So the residents went out. They were able to obtain their petitions of more than 61%. They first went to the city council. City council had to approve for them to tap into their line first and foremost. After the city approved those residents, then they brought the petition for us to come forth with resolution number 7 of 2014. The percentage, the 2014, I'm sorry, the resolution number 7 does have a typo in it. It should be more than 75%. It's 76.8% total linear footage. One of the bottom paragraphs does have 84 in it. It's just a typo, but it is over the 61% required for the Parish 90-10 program. Commissioner, I think that answered all the questions.
I was looking over this, I think so. No, hang on one second. Commissioner Williams, do you have any?
My question is
Concerning I'm sorry, okay. Commissioner Thibodeau, since you made the motion, you want to speak on the motion?
It meets all the requirements of the ordinance. It meets the same requirements that have been used to allow other people to hook up. There's nothing different about this one than any other one. So on that basis, I think we should approve it.
Okay. And Commissioner Williams?
My question was regarding, I know that our Public Works Department does an excellent job of following protocol. However, the question was raised about Jennifer Lane. How do we answer that question for them?
Well, the Jennifer Lane was not added into that because they had an option. The city allowed them to have an option. Because the city at the end of the day is going to take over this water line. So the city could either have said, no, you have to do all of Maggie and all of Jennifer. For those of you that may not be familiar, Maggie and Jennifer are continuous. For some reason, there's a little short bend in it, and at the bend, they change name. Maggie Lane is off Overton Brooks for about 1,000 feet, and then another 1,000 feet beyond Maggie is Jennifer all the way to Ellerby Road. The water line comes down Ellerby to North Ferry, or to Overton Brooks, and then it's going to come up into Maggie Lane for about 1,000 feet. So it was really up to the city. The city chose it. The city said that they needed to go all the way to Jennifer, through Jennifer to Ellerby Road. Then the residents would have had to go back and get everybody on Jennifer. So we're not excluding anybody. That's just kind of how the protocol goes, and that's what the residents chose to do.
Anytime in the near future, Jennifer Lane residents are wanting to participate in our program, they can be able to allow the same kind of process as well.
Yes, sir, easily.
My final question is, how would it affect their rates on Jennifer Lane? Well, they're on well water, so it wouldn't affect their rates at all.
That's right. They're on well water. They're not in this. They're not in the city. When they tap on, they'll be double the rate, just like anybody on Maggie Lane would be.
Thank you so much.
Yes, hang on. Let me ask one question. The people who are on well water and do not participate, will they have to pay anything?
They will be charged their petition for what we'll do is we'll calculate, at the end of the day, we'll calculate the total cost of the construction, and we'll divide it by the total linear footage of everybody's property and come up with a linear foot per.
But they obviously can stay. They obviously can stay on the waterway.
They can stay on well water because they haven't supplied to the city asking for the permission to tap in the line, but they will be assessed the cost of their fair share cost of the water line based on their linear footage.
Okay. Commissioner Cox?
Well, that was going to be my question because we have two people over here that undoubtedly don't want to get on the deal, but we're going to penalize them because the city is going to drop a line.
The city is not doing it. I mean, we're construction line. They're wanting it.
We're city water.
It will be, yes. That's
the
right.
City water will be giving the ones who tap into it a bill. So we're going to bill these people because they're choosing not to.
And if you remember, we also have 2 other residents who are already on city line, and they're choosing to pay the amount.
Yeah.
So they're already on the city water line, they already have the water line at the intersection of Overton Brooks at Maggie.
Yeah, and I can remember this coming up years ago, in other cases and everything, and I'll say what I said back then. Some people may want on it, some people may not. If they don't, later down the road, if they wanted to tap into it, say their wells went dry, then they had to tap into the city, they would pay them, not now, because it's their choice, not either the parish or the city. I still don't agree with that, but that's the way it is, and I can feel for these people right there, so thank you.
Commissioner Lynn, to discuss that, this is one of those cases that if the roads are built and you choose not to own a car, it's an aspect of not using it, but fortunately they'll be able to use their water from their
give
wells.
them their own special tank.
Yep. Thank you. All right. Commissioner Escaday?
Well, yeah, I like Mr. Lynn's analogy, but okay, so you have some people that have good well water, some people that are on city water, and some people who have bad well water. And, they're all kind of clumped in together, and this is just, this is where government, is really, to me, nasty. I really don't like the way things kind of work, but in order to provide for the general welfare, we get into these things that, you wouldn't want to really do to anybody, but you can't help it. So what's going to happen when these people, a couple of people that have undrinkable water don't have any? Or they're not going to have it. So, it's a calculated risk. So that's why, in the end, the majority of the homeowners petitioned, and they've decided this is what they want to do, and it's, everybody just got to go along with it. It's just not an ideal situation, but I don't know of another better situation as water. And we have residents out there right now that have good wells, but that may not be the case next year or 2 years from now. And then they'll be readily able to tap into that, but they don't have to use the resource if they don't want to. That's it. Thank you.
Commissioner Thibodeau?
Yeah. When I first proposed this ordinance several years ago, this was one of the things that I fought against, but the reason that we had to keep that in there is because the state law is what we use for a guideline. There was a state law on a road program that allowed, a certain percentage to be paid by whoever put the road in, and another percentage put in by the residents. And it was everyone on the street, as long as 60% or better agreed to it, everyone on the street had to pay their portion of it, or at least it would be put on their property. I tried to get the ordinance written different, but we couldn't do it, according to the attorney at that time. So that's why that was left in there. But it's still general welfare type thing, especially in that part of town where we've had a lot of wells go bad. If you remember, the parish was not in the water business at that time, but we had a lot of wells that were bad or going dry, and all we tried to do was try to put up a situation where people would have an opportunity to have good water. It doesn't matter the size or value of your house. If you don't have water, you don't have anything. So that's why this particular ordinance had to be written like it's written. And as far as Jennifer Lane, I'm not positive, but I think that when we first started this, and I don't know, Ken might remember, didn't the residents on Jennifer Lane at one time, didn't they try to get enough people on Jennifer Lane to hook up off of Ellaby Road? And for whatever reason, there wasn't enough interest or whatever.
They were actually one of the very first ones that tried to make it happen.
Right, and
I think
they couldn't get enough of the residents to be interested.
Yes, so they didn't come close.
So that may be part of the reason. And again, this whole thing is initiated by the neighborhood. So anytime Jennifer Lane wants to get in and they have 60%, 61%, all they're going to have to do is hook up where Maggie Lane ends and come all the way around to Ellaby Road. So they're not being left out. They can do this at any time they wish to do it. That's all.
Okay, Commissioner Williams?
Yes, sir. You know, that's the difference between by choice and force. My question is there any other growth for commercial or retail development if we were to put this water line?
No, sir, it's all residences. There's 10 residential houses, 5 on each side. And now continuing on past that, another residential area, all Jennifer, all mature neighborhoods.
It's already
houses on
developed.
every.
It's already
yes,
developed
it's fully
area.
developed. That's correct.
Yeah. Maybe one day I'll buy me a house out there. That's why.
Commissioner Cox?
Call for the question.
Okay, we have a motion to call for the question. Seconded by Commissioner Johnson. Please vote for the call for the question. And that passes. So now we'll move to the original motion, which is to approve the local assessment ordinance number 51. Okay, see no more other discussion, which we can't have. Please vote. And that passes.
Next, we move to ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5382 of 2014, amending the budget investment revenues and expenditures for the Capital Outlay Fund and Public Works Fund for the year 2014 to provide an appropriation of $775,000 for the construction of a road in Walmart in North Caddo Parish.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Williams. And we have some discussion. Commissioner Johnson?
Looking at this ordinance, this is a win-win situation, not only for the parish, but also the residents in North Shreveport, North Caddo Parish. The road will also be a safety feature for the Walmart. Presently, there will be 2 ways in, 2 ways out. Just by doing a short road coming off of Highway 1, would only have 1 way in, 1 way out, which could potentially create a safety hazard, traffic jams in that particular area. The land will be a commercial development down the line, which we could have some more retail development, which would bring in additional tax revenues. This Walmart is projected to bring in over $1 million in tax sales, so we'll get our money back within the first year. So I asked my colleagues to support this. It's something that we can spend some money out and get our money back within the first year. Thank you.
Commissioner Thibodeau?
Yeah, I had asked Commissioner Johnson at our last committee meeting to talk with the developer about a particular issue. I was just wondering if he ever did that.
I did.
And?
There was a no answer.
No answer?
A no answer. A no answer.
Because this is a commercial project and the developer stands to make millions of dollars, what I had recommended to Mr. Johnson to give to the developer was, instead of our giving this money, to loan them the money, and then as the property is developed by footage, that he would reimburse us only for the footage of the property that he currently sells. And that way, 2 things would happen. He would still make a very nice profit on the piece of ground that he sells, but we would also get our money back. And so that was a win-win, because he makes money and we get our money back. And so I know I've spoken, I don't guess I can make an amendment, and maybe it's too complicated to make an amendment, but this seems to be a simple way for the parish to get their money back and for the developer to succeed, and it doesn't force him to pay anything back until he sells different lots. So it's not like he has to make a payment every month or something. So if someone else would make that.
Commissioner Johnson.
I was going to respond to that.
Okay.
Basically, when I talked to the developer, they're actually putting some skin in the game, as John always say about the skin in the game. They're actually donating the right-of-way for the road. They also have done the engineering feasibility study, and also they will be contributing $150,000 for future improvements to Roy Road.
I just want to say, you know, donating the right-of-way would be like, I've got some property and I donate the right-of-way of my own property.
It has value.
Well, sure, it has value, but it gives me much greater value to my property once they lay a road through it, so that's no big deal, really. I've got some property, I'll do that right now. You know, anybody would do that. They'd be dumb not to.
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to support Commissioner Johnson. I think he's right on point. I commend his motivation to ask this commission to do what government should be doing, is create an environment so business can be successful, so we can stimulate this economy, provide meaningful jobs for people in that area, create some excitement in Northwest Louisiana. I think it's unfair to treat Walmart any different than we're treating other business that come here. Say they have to do the same thing. So our role should be to make it govern more business friendly and let them know we're open for business in Northwest Louisiana, and we don't want to discourage people not to come here because we want the private developers to give us some back. We're going to get some back anyway. Millions and millions of dollars. They have made that investment. They broke down the figures of what it's going to be. How greedy you want to be. You know, there's two kinds of people in the world, the greedy and the needy. So we need to find ways where we can work together, government with the private sector, creating jobs, creating an environment where it could be a win-win, an environment where I want to go to Caddo Parish and do business because it's friendly there. They make it easy for us to do business and be successful. To put all these strengths on these businesses, I think is unfair. We have too much excitement going. What you go ask the next business to do? You need to give us something back, or we putting a road in for you. That's what government's supposed to do. Put road infrastructure in so people can be successful. It's unfair to a private sector, in the private sector. We live in a free enterprise, capitalistic society, so people can win and grow and make money and prosper. So we need to make life better for people in Northwest Louisiana. And I get the big picture. The big picture bringing jobs, and more jobs, and opportunity. Walmart ain't did nothing but create more excitement. It's going to be an anchor like East Shreveport. That's where North Shreveport can be. That's the kind of enthusiasm and excitement we need to bring. Nobody needs to hold a private investor hostage and say you owe us money because we're going to put a road in for you. That investor pay taxes too. He buys his goods and services here in Caddo and Shreveport. And it's probably other property that buys goods and services. He's paying taxes, and down the road we're going to get everything back twofold. So let's don't be greedy because we feel like we want to hold somebody hostage. We need to provide customer service. Government provides customer service. That's what we do. Making customers where they feel comfortable doing business here in Caddo and Shreveport. They don't, they're going to go to Bossier, go to Wells. Come to Caddo, roll for business, let's do business. Let's cut all the bureaucracy and the red tape and the rhetoric. And let's make things exciting and enthusiastic with these businesses. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Escudé.
I was going to, and I still am. I'm not going to ask pointed questions because we've hashed all that out. I guess we should be honored that the largest retailer in the world needs a little less than $1 million of our money because they can't pull this thing off without us. I guess that's flattering. You might have heard about our AAA bond rating. I don't know. All I will say is careful what you do, be careful what you ask for, and that come to you looking like sheep on the outside, but wild wolves on the inside. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Commissioner Epperson.
Call for the question on the motion.
We have a motion to call for the question. Second by Commissioner Johnson. Please vote. And that will pass. So now we will vote for the original motion.
You ready?
And that passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Ordinance number 5387, 2014, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Economic Development Fund for the year 2014 to provide an appropriation of $25,000 for the Louisiana Film Prize Festival.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Commissioner Thibodeau?
I pass. I pass.
Okay, does anybody else wish to speak on this matter? Please vote. That passes. And next item, Mr. Clerk.
Ordinance for introduction by title, ordinance number 5388 of 2014, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Economic Development Fund to provide an appropriation of $15,000 for the Caddo Film Office for the year 2014.
So moved.
Ordinance number, by title, ordinance number 5389 of 2014, ordinance to repeal, reenact, and renumber portions of section 18-8 of Article 1 and the Journal of Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of Caddo Parish. Ordinance number 5390 of 2014, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator designee to sell parish tax interest. Next, we move to work session minutes, ratify.
I have a motion by Commissioner Escalay, seconded by Commissioner Epperson to adopt those minutes. Please vote. Mr. Cox, please vote.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right. We'll forgive you.
I was busy.
That passes.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 9 of 2014, providing for the semi-annual appointment of a poet laureate for Caddo Parish.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Commissioner, we have a couple of commissioners. Commissioner Thibodeau?
Yeah, I'd like to make an amendment to the resolution. The poet laureate will submit all work written on behalf of the Caddo Parish Commission to our legal department for content review.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Thibodeau, seconded by Commissioner Lynn to make a motion that the poet will
Amendment to the
amendment to put to place any of their writings to the parish attorney's office for review.
Right.
We need to make sure we're protected.
You want to speak on that?
Yes.
Yeah, on this poet laureate.
I want to speak on this motion too.
Okay.
It's supposed to be biannual, not okay.
Hang on, guys.
We need your administration.
You need to hold if you can. Commissioner Thibodeau has the floor.
All right. The main concern I have is art is the only thing that I know of that has no standards. If I take a piece of paper and I color it with both hands, spit on it, put it on the floor and stomp on it, I can call that art because it is an expression of what I did. Now that doesn't mean that anybody likes it. Art is the proper thing to do, but it is still called art because there are no standards for art. And if you don't believe me, then you can look at some of the court cases. There was a time when the crucifix was put into the bottle with human urine. It went to the courts, and the court says that's art. Nothing you can do about it. You can look at some of the music today where foul language is used, language is used to denigrate women, language is used to suggest killing police, and that is called art. And that's why we can hear it on the public airways, because it's art. So that's my concern. If we hire somebody to do some type of advertising for the commission, we don't say, well, yeah, just go ahead and do it. We look at it. We look at it, look at the content of what they did to make a determination that that's what we want to represent us. So since we are being asked to make a selection of a poet laureate, then as a public body, I think we should hold them to some standard. It doesn't have to be my standard or your standard, but it at least has to be held to a standard that it's legal and that it's not going to have foul language in it and that kind of thing. So I'm asking that we use our attorney for that. And that's why I need it. We, in fact, go and review and we look at work that's done by contractors. That's a form of contract review. So I'm saying if we're going to appoint somebody and we're going to be responsible for what they do, and we will be because we appointed them, then we need to have some control over what they say and what they write. So that's what I'm asking for, is to amend what's being offered so that our legal department can look at it to be sure it passes legal muster.
Commissioner Epperson?
Commissioner Williams, it was my understanding Ms. Lynch is out of town. She's the
We ought to delay any act till she comes back.
And she stated that she had an amended resolution. Ms. Frazier, are you familiar with that? Is this the motion that Mr. Williams had made?
She had me to do an amended resolution.
Is this what's displayed here?
Let me just.
It can't be. Can't substitute what was moved from Monday.
Well, I'm getting a point of information.
No, this is not.
You could, yeah.
It's not?
It's not.
Okay. Well, then I would like to reserve the right to withdraw my second if Mr. Williams would withdraw his original.
Yeah, I would.
And
I'd
then
like to
I
speak.
would like to take my spot now to speak.
Really? I withdrew mine.
Okay, all right. I'd like to.
You got the floor anyway, so you're.
Okay,
You're
all right. I'd like to make a substitute motion to delay action upon this item until Ms. Lynch returns.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Epperson and a second by Commissioner Escaday to delay this motion until, I guess Commissioner Lynch is able to come back. Does anybody else wish to speak on this motion?
I have a point of order.
Yes, sir.
The original motion that was made does not belong to two commissioners. It belongs to the entire board. So it cannot, you can withdraw your second, you can withdraw your motion, but once the motion is made and second, it belongs to all 12 members of the commission, not just to the two people that made it. So therefore, it has to be voted on that we're going to not deal with it, and the amendment that I have offered needs to be voted on also. Okay. Because the amendment that I am offering will be offered.
Yes. It's not true.
It will be offered on the whatever else. You know, when it's rewritten, this amendment will be. I have the floor. Will be made for that.
Okay. We'll keep moving for the ones that talk. Let's see. Commissioner Epperson, are you through at this time?
Let's see. Now, where are we again?
So what we'll do is eventually we'll vote on his substitute motion.
No.
The
The last motion first.
Okay.
Mr. Epperson motion.
All right.
First one voted on.
Vote on the last one.
Does anyone want to speak on Ken's motion?
Okay. Does anybody else want to speak
Mr.
on
Chairman,
Ken's
I'm on
motion?
the board to speak.
Commissioner Williams.
Just a point of order. It's been my experience, and as I appreciate it, when a motion and a carrier has the right to remove that off the floor, there's nothing on the floor to vote about. They have the right to not do it. So why you want to vote on something? That's not right. That is not parliamentary procedures.
Hang on a second.
Right. And they pulled the first.
There's nothing on the floor. We withdrew our motions. I withdrew mine, he withdrew his second.
Hang on a second.
There's nothing on
And
the floor.
Donna can back us up on that.
What motion do we need to vote on?
We need to vote on Ken's.
Okay. All right, we're going to vote on Ken's first. Does anybody else wish to speak? Commissioner Escaday?
I'm not finished.
I'm sorry, keep going.
I mean, vote on Ken, what we voting on Ken, for what?
His motion is to delay it.
That's not germane to the subject.
I'm gonna get it.
Commissioner Escaday, you need to
Call for the question on the motions.
Okay, have a motion, call for the question. We know what this is.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
And we have a second by
That's good day.
Commissioner Johnson to call for the question. Please vote.
Call for the question.
No, it's to delay.
The motions.
What do we vote now?
Question vote now.
Okay. We doing all that in one vote?
No.
Okay.
The
question has been
It's your first
called.
meeting?
Hang on. Question's been called. We'll vote for Commissioner Epperson's motion
Stay on track.
is to delay this matter to our next meeting.
Pass. Now let's vote on the
Okay,
kitchen.
so let's vote on that motion at this time.
We just did.
And that passes. Okay, next item, Mr. Clerk.
Pass, don't be sad.
Next, we move to old business. We have Youth and Children Planning Board appointments.
We ready to do this?
I believe that we are.
We are ready to do this.
Oh, I'm sorry, we overlooked one, I'm sorry. Before we move on to old business.
Hang on one second. Resolution number 10?
Yes, we need to do that. Resolution number 10 of 2014, supporting legislation authorizing a tax to be levied to 2.5% on each hotel and motel room in Caddo, Bossier Parish.
Got a motion by Commissioner Escudé, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Please vote. Unless there's any discussion, I don't see any.
Mr. Mayor, everybody else
Through on that one.
for it.
Railroaded that one through. Okay.
Point of order, call Clay up.
All right, Clay, can you come up real quick, please, sir?
One on your list.
Clay, you and I briefly talked about this. This is the statute that requires us to appoint the Children and Youth Planning Board. I think you're going to tell us that some are set by statute, and the other ones are individuals that you had contacted pursuant to the direction of the Juvenile Justice Committee, and these are the ones that are willing to serve, and the list is complete at this time. We simply need to vote on this list. Is that pretty much correct?
That's it in a nutshell.
Over down.
Vote up.
But I just need to ask a question now. I'd like to schedule a meeting, meet with them, and what are their agenda? What is going to be their agenda for the future? I need to just sit down and caucus with them a little about what type of planning they have.
Absolutely.
Sometime, it's not just a standing board that do nothing. Okay?
I understand.
All right.
Yes, sir.
SJ.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so Commissioner Williams, you'll get with Clay sometime in the near future to meet with this group. Okay, can we please vote on this at this time?
So we're voting on all these people?
There's 25 names.
Yes.
We have a motion by Commissioner Williams. Who was the second by?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Lynn. Please vote.
We've done that several times.
Trying to move here.
Ain't nobody told us nothing about these people.
Yes, we have.
I don't know about it. Everybody told me.
You were in Taiwan.
And that passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn. Mute.
Hey, Michael, I wanted to ask you something.
Mute that.
It's not. Every meeting we have.